you heard about Yarn Lane, a TV show dedicated to knitting, crochet and all things yarn, bringing you demonstrations from our expert guests as well as the latest tools. And find out what's coming up on the show by following us on Facebook and Instagram. Subscribe to our email newsletter or visit the programme guide on our website at www.yarnlane.com.
Sewing Street have our very own app. You can now watch and shop from anywhere. Simply download the app from your app store onto your smartphone or tablet, then log in or create an account, and you're done. You can watch us live from anywhere, browse all our recently played items and pre-orders so you never miss out on any show deals, and message the studio to say hello at any time. And remember, you can check out as many times as you want and only pay one P&P all day.
We know that shopping online can be a confusing and sometimes daunting task. And sometimes all you want to do is talk to a human being. Our family-run customer service team are on call 24/7. Full of friendly, warm-hearted individuals, all trained to make your shopping experience as easy and enjoyable as possible. Not only will they take your order, they'll also help and guide you on your shopping journey, so you never miss out.
Have you heard about all of the different ways you can shop with Sewing Street and Yarn Lane? You can either shop on our websites, sewingstreet.com and yarnlane.com. You can also order by phone by calling our friendly UK customer service team. For Sewing Street, call 0800 001 4433, and for Yarn Lane, call 0800 4700 600. And don't forget about the Sewing Street app. Here you can shop all of the Sewing Street products as well as watch the live shows from anywhere. You can download the app onto your smartphone or your tablet by simply searching Sewing Street in your app store. And one final thing, no matter how many times you check out on Sewing Street or Yarn Lane in one day, you will only pay one postage and packaging. Happy shopping!
Are you a fan of Sewing Street and Yarn Lane? Why not join our growing Facebook fans pages? Just search Sewing Street Fans and Yarn Lane TV Fans on Facebook and click Join Group. It's that simple. Never miss out on the latest news and updates from our presenters and guest designers, special offers and plenty of chat with your fellow fans. Share photos of your makes, ask for advice, interact with your favourite guests and presenters and be a part of the ever-growing sewing and yarn community. See you there!
Keep up to date with what's on Sewing Street and Yarn Lane, as well as all the latest news and special offers by signing up to our email newsletters. For Sewing Street, head on over to www.sewingstreet.com, scroll down to the bottom of the homepage, type in your email address, click the envelope, and you're done. It's exactly the same for Yarn Lane. Head on over to www.yarnlane.com, scroll down to the bottom of the homepage, type in your email address, click the envelope, and that's it. You are now subscribed to both Sewing Street's and Yarn Lane's email newsletters. Never miss out on the latest news and special offers ever again.
Welcome to Yarn Lane, and guess what? It's all about Jubilee. So if you've been watching with Sewing Street with me this morning, you know that it's Jubilee special all week. So to celebrate that, Yarn Lane obviously is Jubilee. So who could we ask but Helen? Helen and the Union Jack Bunting. Now, if you were watching Sewing Street, our Bunting just flew out. So if you haven't crocheted before, you want to have a go at this, or you want to make crochet bunting, this is the place. Now, I've got two different kits for you. You just got to choose, or you have to get both of them. It's very, very difficult, really. So we have this one. This is the oh no, you want the Union Jack one first. The Union Jack bunting. Now that is the bunting that is hung up behind Helen. It's absolutely lovely. Morning, Helen. Morning. Was it afternoon?
It is afternoon
sort
now.
of. So on the bunting you can see hung up behind Helen, you've got plain flags, triangles, in red, white and blue, but then you've got ones that are actual Union Jacks. They're lovely, aren't they? Can you see that one? No, that's a picture of these are the actual Union Jacks. Aren't they amazing? I'm looking forward to seeing the pattern for that. So in the kit for this, you get the little bag, perfect for a gift, love a little bag, and you can keep your crochet in here. You get the full instructions, so even, and now these instructions are not available separate. They're not available separate, you can only buy them in the kit. Sorry, cat. Then you get 3 balls of yarn, red. Well, it's white, but it's like a nice white, isn't it?
Yeah, it's quite a bright white.
A proper white.
It's called Arctic white.
Arctic white, red Arctic white and blue, real proper Union Jack colours. You get the ribbon, and you might get blue ribbon or you might get the Best of British ribbon. Oh, put it there. Can you see now? Oh, okay, well, I've got it now. I'm never going to get used to this new studio. And you get a crochet hook as well. Which is very handy. So all of that is in your kit for $18.99. And how many buntings? Flags?
7 flags.
7.
7 flags and a rose.
7 flags in a row. So you've got everything in this kit. You've got the ribbon, you've got the yarn, you've got the instructions. It's all 100% wool, by the way. So this is never-ending, everlasting bunting. And the hook for $18.99, and the instructions are not available separately. There's another kit, so I'm afraid you're going to have to choose, or you just buy both of them. So in the other kit, I've got the bunting here so I can show you. This is the Jubilee bunting. So this is specially designed by Helen for the Jubilee. So it's lovely. Look at that, they're like granny triangles, because we know how much you crocheters love a granny square, so why not a granny triangle? It's lovely, isn't it? Wouldn't it look real? I'd love this. I'd have it hung around my kitchen. Actually, I'd keep it up all year round, to be honest, not just for the Jubilee.
Yeah.
But it's lovely, isn't it? So this is the Jubilee bunting. This has been selling on pre-order as well. You're loving this one, Jubilee bunting. So, oh, there's a picture. You've got a picture of the kit there. So in the kit, you get full instructions. You get the red, white, and blue yarn, and you get the crochet hook, and you get the ribbon as well to make it all. And again, you can make 7 flags with that one.
Slightly more, I think 10 flags.
Oh, 10?
Yeah, so more flags with that one.
Oh, because it's got holes in.
Yes, that's it.
It's not solid, it's got holes in this one.
Yeah.
And actually, this one you've crocheted together rather than ribbon.
I have,
So
yeah.
you can choose.
You can do either. You can hand sew it onto a ribbon, or you can crochet chains and then double crochet along the top of the next flag, and then chains in between.
So you can choose. Now, if you've bought the kit and you're thinking, I'd love that, but I'd actually like to make more flags, we have got the yarn available separately, so you can make it even more. So we've got the Arctic white. Now this, the yarn in this is West Yorkshire Spinners. We love West Yorkshire Spinners, 100% yarn, reared, sheared and spun in Britain. There we go. Oh, that way around. Can't get my head around this at all. So this is Colour Lab yarn, 100% wool, really, really lovely quality. It's the same as what's in the kit. So if you want to make more bunting, you want your whole street to be filled. Maybe you're thinking you want to crochet bomb your local letterbox, bus stop, telephone box, wine bunting round it, put it all over your front fence. $6.50 for 1 ball. So how many grams are...
So there's 25 grams of each colour in the kit.
Wow. So if you buy 1 ball each of these colours...
You're going to make a lot of flags.
You can make 4 times as many.
Lots, yeah.
Loads of flags. So that's the white. Then the red. What's the red called? Crimson red. That's the crimson red. Again, it's a 100 gram ball, 100% wool.
But it is superwash. So
and it's superwash.
So you can put it in the washing machine on a low wool
Okay,
wash.
like a 30.
Yeah, which is amazing.
So
for
this
wool.
is superwash. It is lovely. I've used this quite a bit. It's really nice to crochet and to knit with as well. But this is superwash, so you can wash your bunting. So this is the crimson red. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just trying to get the graphics. But if you, it'll be there in a minute for the code to order these. If not, it is on the website. So that's the crimson red. And then is also the blue. We'll sort out the graphics in it, but we do have the blue as well. We'll put those in. But if you go onto the website, it's all there on pre-order anyway. If you want to buy the blue or the red or the white, so that you can make even more bunting. Anyway, that's the Union Jack bunting. So Helen, where do we start with this then?
So with the Union Jack bunting, it uses a method called Tapestry crochet, and Tapestry crochet is where you are using 2 or more colours at the same time. So
is
if
that
you
like
think
Fair Isle knitting?
It's a bit like Fair Isle or Intarsia, except for you're carrying the colour that you're not using underneath your colour that you're using.
So it doesn't loop across the back.
So the front and the back is exactly the same.
Oh, cool.
You've got no jogs, you've got no kind of threads that you have to cut and then sew in.
Right.
It's always carried. So what I thought I would do is just demonstrate how to do it first with 2 colours and then with the 3 colours. And what you would use is you would use a chart. So in the kit there comes the chart
nice.
For the Union Jack. And it is a case of just counting each of the squares on the chart and changing colour accordingly.
So it's like doing cross stitch?
Yes,
or,
yes, it's very
or Fair Isle?
Yeah, very similar to knitting or cross stitch, or you're just following the instructions.
Okay.
So I've got another.
So you can see in the screen there. There you go. You need
okay.
to just be in the middle.
Right.
Not that one on the right, the one in front of you.
Okay. So I'm getting used to this
I know,
new
I've
studio.
got used to it, and I've been here a while.
So basically what we're doing is carrying, so I've got a light blue yarn, and I'm not going to be picking up that light blue yarn for several stitches. So I'm going to be crocheting over the top of this light blue yarn here and crocheting. So I've made a chain. So with the Union Jack bunting, you're working in rows rather than rounds. So that's backwards and forwards. I need to decrease my first 2 stitches. So I'm just going to go into that first stitch underneath both parts of the stitch, catching the yarn and pulling it through. I've got 2 loops on my hook. Then I'm going into the next stitch for my decreased 2 together and pulling it through. All the time I'm coming underneath the stitch and the alternate colour yarn. So I've got 3 loops on my hook. I'm going around the hook, pull through all 3. So that's my decrease. Then I'm going to make the next 2 stitches just in that darker blue, and then I'm going to come up to, actually I need to go back because it's really important when you're changing colour. On the next stitch I want to change colour. So it's this stitch here will be in the lighter blue. So instead of finishing off the stitch before in the dark blue, I leave 2 loops on my hook. Then I pick up the light blue and I pull that through those 2 loops. So that finishes
when you're
off that
following
stitch.
the chart, you do that before
Yes. So you
the
look
square with the colour.
Exactly. So you
Right.
look at where your next stitch is. If it's a change colour, then you have to finish the previous stitch with that colour. So then I would then make my light blue stitch, and then say I want to change colour on the next stitch, and then 2 loops of the light blue on my hook, and then pulling through the dark blue through those 2 stitches. So then you make your dark blue stitch and you carry on until the chart tells you to change colour again. So that's how you do it with 2 colours.
So you just keep that other colour running
and you just
underneath
yes,
almost.
exactly. So you just crochet. So say my next stitch will be a light blue stitch. So then I just finish off the stitch with the light blue, but lay the dark blue over those stitches, and then I can be going into those next stitches, doing 2. And so you're constantly twisting the yarn round. So you're twisting it so that the colour that you're not using is lying over the top of your other stitches. And you're putting your hook underneath that strand of yarn and the stitches. What it does mean is that you do get a bit sort of tangled up. So I would say at the end of every row, so if I finish this row with the dark blue stitches, then you stop and you untangle your yarn, because otherwise you do get in a bit of a mess, especially if you've got big balls of wool that you're working with. So at that point, then you just kind of have to untangle it.
But I guess if you do that every row, it's not so bad.
It's not so bad. And also with the bunting, you're decreasing. You start off with your foundation chain, and then thereon you're just following a pattern and decreasing. So every row gets shorter and shorter to the end. So that's with 2 colours.
So the red, white and blue yarn is now there. We've got it. It's on the website.
Fantastic.
If you go onto the Sewing Street website, it is all there. If you go on today's show deals, $6.50 and it's 100 grams. It's a fantastic price actually for 100% yarn. $6.50
yes, it's really
for
good value.
100 grams.
Yeah.
It's all there on the Sewing Street website. So if you buy the kit and you want more of the red, white and blue, you can buy them individually. It's up to you. But remember, once you check out, it's only 1 P&P per day.
Yeah.
So we're now on to 3 colours.
So 3 colours, and it's exactly the same. And instead of, crocheting under just one of those strands, you've then got 2.
So does that make it sort of super thick?
It makes it thick, which is good for bunting, because it makes a nice dense fabric.
Yes.
And if you wanted it to be slightly drapier and you were finding your stitches were too tight, then you can obviously go down or up a hook size according to adjusting your tension. You want it to be a nice, tight, firm tension, because you don't really want to see as much of those other strands. So on the Union Jack bunting, you can see the yarn of the other colours travelling through slightly, but I think that gives it quite a nice sort of vintage feel.
Yeah, well that's what I love about it. It does look like that. It's like when you see really old Union Jacks when they're appliqué, they're lovely, aren't they?
Yes, and it doesn't give
look.
It just gives it exactly that handmade crocheted look. So with your chart, you're following it, and there are arrows at the beginning and end of the rows to tell you which direction you're going in, because you're working backwards, keeping backwards and forwards. And you've got the row numbers on the left side, you've got the stitch numbers on the right side.
Do you mark them off when you do them?
Yeah, I do. I do tend to kind of tick things off as I go, and that obviously, if you then put your work down, go away, make a cup of tea, then you come back and you know exactly where you are. So,
I guess you use row markers or numbers or
counters. Or like there are apps for your phone now that you can click.
I know, I tried that the other day. I couldn't find one. I'm still using the little row counter.
Yeah, I just use pencil and pen.
I know.
Pencil and a pad, or
but I end up writing on my pattern. It really annoys me. I've upgraded to a row counter rather than a pencil.
Yes,
app for phone. That might be the next level.
No, or having post-it notes stuck on your pattern. That's a good, especially if you are following a ruler or something that you can actually sort of mark where you are on the chart. So I'm on row 1 here.
It's just amazing. I absolutely love this.
So on my chart, I've made this white stitch here. I've now got 3 blue stitches to do. So I'm going to be crocheting over the top of the white and the red. So I'm going to make the first 2 blue stitches. Then the third stitch is the stitch before I change colour to a white stitch, so then I'm picking up that white stitch, that white yarn, and pulling through the blue stitches, and then I'm ready to do my 1 single white stitch for the Union Jack, and then the next one on the chart is 2 blues, two reds, 2 reds, pull through the red. See, I'm thinking I'm doing red, but I'm saying blue. Why does that happen? It's just, my brain and my hands are not kind of somehow attached, right?
So you just always need to remember to almost prepare the next colour.
Yes, yeah, you have to look ahead. So you look ahead. So I'm doing my next stitch is a red stitch, but then the stitch after that is my white stitch. So then I'm finishing that red stitch off by pulling the white through the red.
Oh, it makes sense now.
And
First
then,
time I tried this, it was all over. I made lemons.
Yeah.
But nothing like lemons.
No, because it's important that you have the V of the previous colour makes that block on the chart, but then your loop on your hook is actually will become the V of the next stitch.
Oh,
so
I
that's
see.
the important thing
that
to
makes
bear
sense.
in mind. So yeah, so I've got then one white, and then I have to make sure again that you hold in the yarn so that you're crocheting over.
Yeah, just have a.
Yeah,
you're
just-
almost. You need to just go left a bit. That's it.
There we
Perfect.
go, coming this way. So there, so I'm going into the stitch, and my hook is also underneath the 2 strands of colour, and then pulling the white through. So you need to concentrate. This is the thing. This isn't something that you can do in a knit and natter.
But what's
or,
lovely though, isn't it, is that it's not boring at all.
Oh, it's
Because
not
you've got
boring.
to really think about it.
Yes, yeah, and then the effects are amazing because it's a flag as well. It's quite a quick project.
Yes,
it's not,
yeah.
you know, it's not going to take you ages to do. And then I'm just finishing off the last 2 blue stitches, and you carry those yarn all the way to the end of the row. So even though you might only have those stitches perhaps in the middle of your chart, you still have to carry it all the way to the end of your row, and then you can make your turning chain, and you turn, and you again then turn and place your alternate colours on top of your next row. And then
So why do you have to take them all the way to the end?
well, just because if you have them in the middle, then you might have a kind of, when you're twisting and turning from one row to the next, you then will have a visible jog.
Oh, of course, yes.
So yeah,
yes.
so you want
Because I'd be thinking, oh well, I won't need red again there. I'll leave it wherever
no,
it is.
I know. So you need to kind of take it to the end. But the good thing is, when you've got these sort of twists at the end of the row, they're going to be crocheted over the top. So when you finished your chart, you've got to the bottom of your flag, you're then going to be taking just one colour and crocheting all the way around the edge of the flag. So that neatens up the edges basically. So
So when everyone's checked out of the Union Jack Bunting kit in their baskets, we've only got 8 left. So if you want this, remember what happened on Sewing Street, you do need to check out. We are loving Bunting and we are loving Jubilee today, so you do need to check out because we've got very few left.
yeah, so
And there is the Jubilee Bunting as well. There's the Union Jack and the Jubilee, so you can have
Yeah.
both or either.
yeah. So it's just when you're turning, your first stitch is a decrease stitch, and so you're making sure that then you're going and doing your double crochet 2 together, and all my patterns are written in UK terminology rather than American terminology. So with this flag, it's just a double crochet stitch.
So how do you decrease and change colour at the same time?
So yes, so on the chart there is just one block of colour, and so you're decreasing. Normally you're just decreasing with that one colour.
Okay.
So you don't have
You're not
to
having
then
to set
sort of
up the next colour.
No, because then that's a bit more complicated. So yeah, so we've just got one blue, so I've just decreased that one blue. But then the next stitch might then be a white or a red. So
Okay.
you may have to pull through those 3 loops with one of those other colours. So, but in this instance,
Yeah,
it's
that's
just
what. So
making
if
two.
you're doing a decrease,
Yeah, so you go into the first stitch with your first colour, you go into the second colour with that same colour, but you may be finishing off that stitch with a new colour.
Yeah, so it's exactly the same
it does-
principle.
yeah,
You
it
just
does-
might be coming through 3.
It makes sense.
Okay.
So that is how you do tapestry crochet.
Love
It's as
that.
easy as that.
Yeah, I messed mine up completely when I did it. It was lemons, nothing like lemons. But that makes sense. I don't think I was A, counting, and B, setting it up properly.
Yeah. Concentrate. That's
I'm
the only
probably
thing to
C,
do.
decreasing properly. Maybe I should revisit that project.
Yes, yeah, but it's a nice little technique to do if you just want to introduce a little bit
And
of
in
colour
the
work.
kit, is there enough to do all of them as Union Jacks?
Possibly.
You'd
yes.
have to work that one out, I guess. So, yeah. You didn't do that. That'd be
I
hard
didn't
to
do
work
that.
out.
So yeah, probably it would be.
Yeah.
Actually, you could do 7 Union Jacks. You wouldn't have to do one plain one, one white, one red, one blue. But yeah, it just works out that you just have to be wary, because I think the blue is the one that is the most.
So not definitely, but possibly.
Yeah,
but if you get some more, see what I would do, I'd buy the kit and then buy one ball of each of those, and I could have loads of them.
Yes, yeah. And it is a bit addictive, especially the ones where you're not having to concentrate.
Yes, true.
You know, you're just sort of going row by row, decreasing at the beginning of every row, following the pattern, and
so maybe if you've got lots of time on your hands, you can make them all as Union Jacks. But what a lovely thing to do. And also, I guess if you're new to crochet, if you start with the plain ones,
that's it. Yeah.
Then move to the Union Jacks. I love them.
Yeah.
Really want that.
So that's tapestry crochet. The pattern also includes a pattern for a rose. So
okay. I can see. Yes.
Yeah, so
he's on the end of the cream
and
one.
That's quite nice to have. You know, an English rose, and this is just again perfect for beginners, because the rose is just in 3 rows. So there's only 3 rows to the pattern. And you are working your
Is this in both? Is the rose in both of them?
No, so the rose is only in the Union Jack pattern,
Right.
and the and so yes, I could demonstrate.
Okay, no, that's fine.
Yeah,
Yep.
so I'm just setting up a row of chain spaces. So we're making triangle spaces and square spaces. So it is just treble crochet stitches and a chain, and this is what they call a V-stitch. So if you're doing a treble chain treble in the same stitch, that's called a V-stitch, and then you're missing a stitch and coming into the next one with a treble chain treble, and then a chain, and you're missing a stitch, and then again treble. So you go that all the way to the end of the row, and then coming back in the other direction, then you are working just treble crochet stitches to make the petal. And the idea is that they then start to sort of curl round and create. So it's a really easy way to make a rose, and that's the same rose for the tea cozy.
Oh, the tea cozy. Yes, exactly the same. Love the tea cozy.
So yeah, if anybody's having their street parties and having
we've been having a very long
tea
conversation this morning about afternoon tea. And everybody's been messaging in with their recommendations.
Oh, okay. So what is the top
so if
tip
you want a crocheted, look at that. Yeah, for your Jubilee tea party. That is a centrepiece, isn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, with proper china cups and...
yes, and that's in the graphics at the moment. You have done a full demonstration of this before, haven't you?
Yeah, I was
What date was that then,
Oh,
Helen?
a long time ago.
Yes,
that was... What was that,
You're
back
never
in
going to remember. We'll have a look.
September?
Yeah, we'll have a look and
Last
we'll let
year?
you know. But isn't that
And I was on
gorgeous?
with
We have to
Stuart.
bring that in because that really is the crocheted afternoon tea delight kit.
So it's got hearts and flowers.
Hearts
and
and flowers, obviously.
this
now,
is
any
how
of the
to
kits
make
that you buy from Helen come direct from Helen as well. So the yarn comes from us, but the kits come direct from Helen, just so you know.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So
Might be
I'll
a
be
bit
busy
quicker.
winding wool
Probably
tomorrow.
A bit quicker, to be honest. Yes,
Winding wool to go
we'll
into the
wind in
kits.
tomorrow.
Yeah. So I've come to the end of the row, and then into this first chain space here. Then I'm going to be making 5 treble crochet stitches into that same space there, and that's what makes the petal of the rose. So I'll just do this really speedily. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more. That's 6, including the turning chain, and then into the next space you do a double crochet stitch, and that just makes that petal shape. And you carry on all the way to the end of the row, and then you can spiral it up at the end,
And that
that's
makes
what
the
makes
English rose.
And that's what makes the English rose, or the purple flowers on the tea
beautiful
cozy.
tea cozy. Fab. Right, should we do
Yes.
your red, white, blue mandala kit now?
Oh, yes.
So I'm going to show you the kit. This is fantastic. Now this is really good for beginners. So what you get, now this is very clever. You get the tote bag, and can you see on the front of the tote bag the design is printed. So you can use, this is actually the chart. You can actually use the chart to follow it, should you want to. Or what you do, got the full instructions, same chart. There are only 13 of these available, so just remember, if you want one, you need to check out. The chart is on there, full instructions, and you get red, white, blue and colourful yarn. So you get the red, white and the blue as before. Can you see on that one? And the, what colour's that one called?
I think that one is the...
It's that one, isn't it?
Yes, I think it is Technicolor. Yeah,
So
Technicolor.
you get 25 grams each of those and the crochet hook. And what you do is you crochet the mandala, which Helen's going to show you in a moment, and then that you sew onto the front of the bag.
Yeah. Or you could embroider, or you could sew it onto the back.
Or you could keep your mandala for something else.
Yeah, or you could keep the mandala and you could make lots of mandalas. But have you seen a lot of people are making these postbox toppers?
Yes,
And
yes, I want a postbox to
I
do it.
know, it would be fantastic. So the pattern for the mandala would be perfect for the top of a postbox.
Wow.
Because you're working in the round and the pattern.
So if you want to Jubilee decorate your local postbox.
Yes, you could buy this, have the pattern,
and then if you've
put
got
it
the
out,
Union Jack bunting one, you put bunting around it
around
and
the
roses.
bottom. Yeah, that would be good, wouldn't it? And have a crown on the top or something.
Brilliant, wouldn't it?
It could work out.
So you can use the bag and put it on there, or you can embroider over that so it looks all sorts of things.
Yes, or you could simply, the way I designed it was that you would have the chart on the front and you'd sew the mandala on the back of the bag, and that would be how you would be able to decorate your tote bag. And then you've got a project bag for all your knitting and your crochet and things.
And this is really good for beginners, isn't it?
It's really good for beginners. So just as I was showing you the rose pattern, this is exactly the same. So if you can do a treble crochet stitch and a double crochet stitch, then you can virtually do anything in crochet.
Okay.
And it's so versatile. It's one of the things I love about crochet is its versatility.
But your instructions actually tell you how to do those stitches anyway.
Yes, they are a complete beginner's guide. So if you've never crocheted before, then you could have this kit. You could check out the tutorials on Yarn Lane YouTube.
And on your website.
And on my website. And also, there's so much information out there that you would then be able to make a mandala really easily.
Well, I think it's a lovely beginner's kit as well, isn't it?
Yeah, so, and it starts just like if you were making a granny square, and I always say to people that mandalas are actually easier than granny squares because you've got no corners. So you just can go round and round.
Yeah, okay.
You don't have to worry about corners at all. So, so with this mandala, we're starting in the middle, and you start with a foundation chain, you join with a slip stitch, and then these are your double crochet stitches in the middle. Then from here you kind of create these spokes of a wheel by doing treble crochet stitches and chains, and the chains are creating the spaces where you are then going to put your next round of stitches. So once you've got all the way, now this is the last round of the mandala pattern. But once you get to this last round, you can actually make it bigger and bigger just by repeating, going back to the beginning of your your chart, and you just keep repeating, and it will grow out because the increases just happen automatically.
Oh, okay, right.
So what I have done in the past, and what I might do with this one, is I've crocheted it so that it's a hula hoop size, and then you hang it up, you know,
Lovely.
like a
So you
dream
can use it for
catcher.
all sorts of things.
You can use it as, yeah.
Dustbin lid, how nice would that
Ooh,
be?
yeah, although it might get a bit grubby.
Oh, I know, but wouldn't it look
But
nice?
then with this wool you could wash it.
Exactly.
And it's 100% British wool.
So the picture that's on the website, it's slightly different colours, just so you know.
It
You
is.
are getting red, white, blue and the Technicolor.
That's it. So anybody that orders from now on, that's the wool that I will put into the
Okay.
kit. So
Will be red, white, blue and
yeah, so
Technicolor.
if you've bought maybe the kit before, because I think on our very
We
first
did it on
launch
the
show,
very launch ever
that's
show and it
yeah.
sold out.
It sold out
Just like that.
completely. So if you
Yes.
bought it like over a year ago, then obviously you could get it, you know, reuse it, but with some other
With other
the
yarn,
other
yes. So
colours,
it did sell out on our first ever show.
Yeah, it did.
So how do we do this then?
So what I've done is this last round of the mandala is simply the where we've got chain spaces, and I'm coming up to the next chain space. So exactly the same as I was doing for the rows.
Okay.
I'm just going to put, I think it's 7 treble crochet stitches into this chain space, and it's just repeating it all the way round. So 7 trebles into this space and then a double crochet into the next one. I'm not really sure what size crochet hook I'm using at the moment, but in the kit I think it's a 4 millimeter. And this,
I'll
or
tell
3
you
and a
one
half.
moment.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Single figures left of this kit.
7.
If you want one, you need to get to his 4 mil. You need to put it in your basket and check out single figures. As I said, they did sell out when we did them the last time. If you're watching us on Sewing Street today for the first time, welcome to Yarn Lane. It is a pleasure to have you. If you've always wanted to have a go at crochet, this was one we did our first show, talking through it all with Helen. We wanted to give you some real beginners, we wanted to encourage more of you to crochet. So this is really good as a start, because there's many things you can do with these. Some people just use them as little table mats, put them on your bag, put them on your post box, hang them up, but it's a really lovely way of practicing 2 different stitches for a really fantastic effect as well.
Yeah, everybody's very impressed and thinks, wow, that looks really complicated, but it really isn't. So yes, you can see that I'm just making these shell shapes around the edge, and into the next space I'm just making a double crochet stitch where I'm going straight in and then pulling through the 2 loops, and that then closes it up. As I say, then you keep going, and if you like it that size, sew it onto your bag, or put it maybe onto an embroidery hoop, or the floristry wire kind of wreath.
Yes, because they
hoops.
look lovely, don't they?
Yeah, they do,
Really
and then
lovely.
you can hang them up, and it's a good alternative to, you know, the triangle bunting.
Yes,
so you could have
exactly.
that, you know, decorate in your street as well. So.
But if you know somebody who would like to learn to crochet, it is a complete kit, because it comes in there, it comes in the bag, it's got all the yarn, it's got the hook, it's got the instructions. It's a really nice gift for somebody, because as Helen said, it's actually easier than a granny square. I know we all think that's the easiest thing, but if somebody you know would like to learn to crochet, then this is a really good starting place, because it's all together in one. It's nice to have a whole kit, isn't it?
Yeah,
especially
it's
in a
fantastic.
bag.
Yeah, in your own little project
In your own
bag
little
as well.
bag, isn't it? It's lovely. Okay, so which one should we do next?
Well, how about just talk through the Jubilee,
Oh, the Jubilee
bunting, which
Yes.
is slightly different.
Let me pop these back. So the Union Jack bunting is the one that Helen did first of all. The Jubilee bunting is granny square triangles, not grannies. Granny triangles?
Yeah, granny triangles. So yeah, there's
So is this beginner?
very much so.
Oh,
A beginner.
there we go.
So
there's the picture
yeah,
of it on there.
simple for. So yeah, and in this kit there is a pattern and
So
chart
we've got
for
a ball
2.
each of the red, white and blue. The pattern. So we've got the pattern. All comes in little bags, so again, ideal if you know someone who's a complete beginner, wants to start a little gift for somebody. You could give it to them as an Easter present.
Or Mother's Day.
Mother's Day
Mother's
present,
Day,
yes. Oh, but would they get it for Mother's Day?
I should be able to, if I get the orders from
you do
you,
it now.
then yeah, they should get.
Because
to
Helen
you
will be
by
sending them
Mother's
out
Day.
directly. So
Yeah.
lovely Mother's Day gift. You've got the 3 balls of yarn, you've got the ribbon and the hook and the full instructions, and this is ideal for beginners. So good Mother's Day or Easter present. If it's an Easter present, you could put a couple of cream eggs in there, and it's quite nice to have,
Oh,
you know,
yes.
for it not
Yeah,
to, for
yeah.
if you're not trying to eat too much chocolate.
No, and plenty of time to make
Yes,
all
ready
the bunting
to make for Jubilee as
for-
well.
for June,
And so,
yeah.
because Helen said it right, so if you can get your order in today, she will have time because she will get the order sent to her, and then she can get it to you in time. Right.
So with the Jubilee kit, you actually get 2 different designs of granny triangle.
Oh, okay.
So you have a triangle,
yes, I can
which
see.
is exactly the same as a granny square, but obviously you've only got 3 corners. So 3 corners instead of your 4 corners for a traditional granny square, but it is exactly the same. So you start in the middle. You do, instead of 4 sets of 3 trebles, you've got 3 sets of 3 trebles with chains in the corner, and then you change colour and you can increase, and then in exactly the same as a granny square, you're doing 2 sets of 3 trebles in a corner space with your chains in the corner for your next round. So, and then it's exactly the same as a granny square, but a triangle, and then edged with double crochet stitches, and you could add tassels or pom-poms,
Oh,
or
that's
you
true.
could kind of create.
So in your sample here, you've got some that are in red, white and blue and some that are in just one colour.
Yeah, so you can.
Can you choose?
Yeah, so what I would say is you could absolutely choose to do them in a block colour, or you could choose to alternate between the colours. And if you are changing colour each time, then what you might want to do is, let me just demonstrate how, if I grab a...
Yeah, it'd be quite nice to be able to see how to make one of these.
Well, and also how to join the yarn into a chain space.
Right.
Because that is, let me just grab some.
So the bit that you've done already, which is that the centre of then?
So actually this one that I've done already is the other pattern. So
Right.
so this is the Jubilee pattern,
Okay.
which is slightly different, but no more
Right,
complicated.
okay.
But I'm going to join for the next row. I'm going to join another colour. Now you normally join a colour into the chain spaces when you're doing a granny square or in this case, a granny triangle. So in order to start a new colour, you put your hook straight in, you catch a loop of yarn through. Well, this is how I do it. I'm sure there's many ways of doing it, but to make it secure so it doesn't actually start to unravel, you hold on to both the tail and the working yarn, so you've got 2 strands there. You're going to put your hook under both of those strands and pull them both through the loop that is on your hook. You've then got 2 loops on your hook, and normally I would say you finished a stitch when you've got 1 loop on your hook, but this isn't a stitch, this is just a join. So then you start with your pattern, which is just...
So you don't count that as a stitch?
You don't count
I
that as
was never
a stitch.
sure about that.
So the loop that is on your hook, you don't count as
Right,
a stitch.
okay.
So if you were making a long chain and you were counting your chain stitches, you wouldn't count for example, you wouldn't count your slip knot, and you wouldn't count the loop that's on your hook. You would just count each stitch there.
Right, okay.
So I've joined it, and because I crocheted over the tail, that's then giving it a bit more friction and a bit more security for then to start with a pattern. So with a granny square or a granny triangle, you then start with 3 chains, which is the equivalent height of a treble crochet stitch. So you've got the height of a treble crochet stitch, and that you count as 1 treble. Then with this pattern, I'm on round 3. I'm then going to crochet into the tops of each of these stitches, and I'm just going to lay the red tail along the top of the blue stitches. So then I won't need to weave those in at the end. I'll just be able to crochet over the top of those stitches and then cut them, so that then...
A bit like with your tapestry crochet.
Yes, just exactly the same as the tapestry crochet, but I don't know about you, Rebecca, but sewing in ends is always like when you get to the end of a project and you have hundreds of ends to sew in.
And I know everyone says do it as you go along.
Definitely, don't leave it till the end of a blanket. But no, you sew them in as it, or if you can, then try to weave them in as you. So by crocheting over the top of that tail.
And does that hold them secure enough?
It does, because then you've got a long length, because I can hold that all the way to the other corner.
Yes, I guess
then you cut it, and then it's sort of all hidden underneath those stitches. So I'm just then going to crochet treble crochet stitches into the tops of each of these stitches. So then I'm going to go yarn around the hook into the stitch so that both parts of the stitch are lying on top of my hook, then under the red working yarn, pull that through the stitch, 3 loops on my hook, yarn around the hook, pull through 2, yarn around the hook and pull through 2, and that finishes off the treble. So then 1 more into the next stitch. I seem to have picked up some silver from somewhere. A silver thread in here, which is quite nice anyway, sparkly as well. So then I'm coming into this chain space that we've made here, and then we're just going to go straight into the space and do, I think it's 3 stitches, so 3 trebles into that space. So that's just like if you were doing a traditional granny square where you're just going into the space, then coming into the next chain space, another 3 trebles. So 1, 2, 3, and then working into the next stitches. I'm coming up to where I've got the slip knot, where I broke the yarn on the previous round. So you just need to make sure that you're doing 3 stitches around that, so not missing one because you've got a knot there. So yarn around the hook and into those stitches. 1, and this is the one with the slip knot, so I'll just be careful because it can be a bit tight. 2 and 3. So that gives you an idea of of how to make that. So that is the same as this one here, where I'm just doing these stitches.
Yeah, it gives it a nice solid border. And then at the edge, how do you turn the corner?
So in the corner, let's just have a look at the pattern. So I think you've got the pattern, but it is.
Oh yes, I have
3. I was just seeing which pattern I'd got.
No, I've got the pattern.
Which pattern I'd got.
I've got the
pattern.
Yeah,
let me just check the Jubilee bunting. So in the corners, you have got 3 trebles, 3 chains, and 3 trebles into that 4 chain space.
I couldn't tell how many trebles were in the corners because they've been gone over.
So I'm coming into the corner space here, and I'm just then going to make the 3 trebles for the side. 1, 2, 3, and then 3 chains for the corner. 1, 2, 3, and then back into that same chain space.
And is that because it's a triangle? Because normally, if it was a square, you don't always have 3, do you?
No, you would probably, well, it depends on the pattern, but with a traditional granny square, you probably have 2 chains in the corner and then 1 chain on the side.
Yes.
Whereas with the granny triangle, you've got 3 chains at the corner and 2 chains at the side. So that just gives it a bit more space to be able to
because it's a bit of a sharper angle, isn't it?
Yeah, it just gives it a bit more space. And with a larger crochet hook as well, it means that those stitches can So
to get it to go down the angle.
It's very straightforward. So all I need is a pair of scissors, then I can just cut them off. And in fact,
would you like a pair?
Have you got a pair?
I have, funnily enough.
Oh, those are nice.
They're nice, aren't they? They are available to purchase.
Beautiful. So there's
rose gold stalk scissors. If you want a pair.
Yeah, they are lovely. So then you just can snip the red
I also
tail.
You should have nice scissors in your kit.
Oh yes. Oh.
$9.99 rose gold stalk scissors. Well, you need little sharp. That's why I always have little baby sharp scissors. That's all you need, isn't it?
Yeah. So then you can you're just hiding it.
Perfect.
And then you're carrying on and crocheting the other 2 sides of your granny triangle. So. But of course you don't need to just do it in red, white and blue. You would then have the pattern to be able to do it in any colours. So
Oh yes, so we do have a kit for a different colourway, or 2 different colourways.
Yes, 2 different colourways.
So it's still called the Jubilee Bunting kit, but it's just with different colour yarn.
Exactly.
Right.
Yes. Well, they're the granny triangle. I think they're called the granny triangle, but you get both patterns.
Right. Okay. So you get both patterns for the Jubilee Bunting and the granny triangles. So in this kit, which is called All the Blues Granny Triangles, you get the pattern, which is the same as the Jubilee Bunting, but it is the same pattern. And then you get 100 grams of this gorgeous, it's the Colour Lab yarn, the West Yorkshire Spinners, but it's multicoloured.
It is, yeah. It's self-striping.
Self-striping, and this one is called Frosty Blue.
Yeah, so in fact what you've got...
oh, there's a picture of it in your garden.
Ah, yes. Yeah,
Helen's got it on her desk as well.
And so I've got it here, and you can see that you can either change colour each round by just sort of pulling out the yarn and then moving on to the next colour
so
in the
cut
stripe.
It off.
So you could just cut it off. So you could just cut off and change colour. And I think I'm a bit OCD, and I like kind of the
symmetry.
I like the symmetry of every colour. However, you can just be completely random and just go with what comes out of the ball and have it change colour automatically. So you can just, you know, have it changing, and that equally looks good.
Well, also because you're going to get a lot of triangles from one ball, so they'll just all look very random together, aren't they?
Yeah, you can. I think I'm just trying to work out how many. Yeah, over 10. You know, it's about 7 grams per ball, so per flag. So So yes, you get you get many more than
loads.
10 in loads.
That's the blues, but if you want to go Technicolor, this one, same thing, the pattern, exactly the same. So you get the pattern, but you get 100 grams of this Technicolor. I love this one.
So they're true rainbow.
$14.99. And that's how that works. Now, did you do that one and pull it all out?
Yes, so I did. I pulled it out and I changed colour for the one that's in the middle there. So I got it sort of the rainbow, so red, orange, yellow, green, blue. And
that one you didn't.
And then this one I didn't. So this one I just kind of like went with it and went random. And yeah, it's nice because actually with this particular pattern, it's the negative space that when you're hanging it up as a bunting, you kind of see the spaces through the bunting, and that shines through as well. So
I think this would be lovely if you were making it, you know, you put the bunting up or for children's birthdays, well, anyone's birthday, but just because it's rainbow, so every time it's someone's birthday, hang out your bunting.
Yes.
And once you've got the pattern, you see, you can just keep.
Use
any
double
keep making
knit.
more and more and more. It's just it uses double knit.
Yeah.
I mean, you could do it in different yarns.
You could.
Super chunky.
Yeah.
Just bigger.
Make massive, super chunky triangles.
You could. And then we've got one final kit, which is this amazing. Now, maybe this is more your birthday bunting.
Yeah, definitely.
Really.
Yeah.
Up to you. I think it's nice to have bunting because especially that you bring out for celebrations or birthdays every single year. It's lovely. So, talk me through this kit then, Helen.
So
I'm going to open it all out.
Again is a beginner crochet kit.
Right, and it comes in a bag.
Yeah, it comes in a bag, and it's got 6 balls of wool. So it's got the 6 colours.
So we've got the instructions. Oh, it's all super rainbow.
Yeah, so you've got the rainbow colours, 6 balls. You've got the crochet hook. And it is, again, a complete beginner kit.
And you've got the bag as well.
Yeah. So it is a guide to how to do all the stitches and how to do both.
And then this is what it makes.
Yeah, so it makes big flags where you can put letters in.
So you can choose.
Yeah.
If you're being very specific, you could put someone's name on it.
Yeah, that's it. I think that might be back
this
front
or happy.
Oh, no, it doesn't.
So this one says happy.
Yeah. So then you could say anniversary or Jubilee.
How many flags can you make from the kit?
Lots.
Lots. I'm being really specific here.
Definitely enough to do happy birthday.
Oh, okay. So that's loads.
Enough to do happy birthday, and so you've got the pattern for the large flags that are plain, all with a letter. Also the little flags. There's a pattern for the little flags.
I love these. There's loads of these. Hold that. You hold that end. I'll hold this end.
So thank you to Tracy for making these.
Aren't they gorgeous? We've got meters of it.
So yeah, meters and meters of.
So that's so cute.
Yes.
So if you want to so you could make the happy birthday and the little ones.
Yeah, you
could.
Or
all little ones or more
flags.
Yes,
that's it. Yeah, there's plenty of yarn in the kit for you to do a combination of both. Or if you had someone's name, you could do someone's name.
Yeah, that's so lovely though, isn't it, for something special to have, and bring it out every year.
Yes.
And so the words, the letters, say that's the same as your Union Jack.
Yeah. So you've got. I've borrowed a page, but you've got the whole alphabet in charts.
Right.
So and where to
you have that one.
Yeah, where to actually, where to put them on the page. So you've got the flag pattern of exactly the same as the Union Jack chart, with the directions of which way you're going, where to decrease to make it a flag shape, and then you replace the A of the chart with any of the charts of the different letters. So yeah, it's and because I've just demonstrated how to do it with 2 colours, it's just carrying the yarn across and picking up the stitch according to where it is on the chart.
And then you haven't put ribbon in this one. This has got this.
Yeah, so
that's good.
I think it's a really easy way of making putting them all together is just making chains at the beginning of the and then finding your next
so what
flag.
stitch have you used for the chain?
Did I do it? So I might have done a double crochet because Tracy made that one, you see.
Oh,
so
I
forgot to ask her. Yeah, let me have a look and see whether she's done.
It's nice chunky. It's not your normal chain.
No, she might have done. No, she's done a chain and then she's done a double crochet stitch into the chain.
What, back again?
Back again. Yes.
So you just pick these up. So that's much quicker than a ribbon, isn't it? Because it's crocheted, and then she went back along it again.
Yeah. Whereas it was my mum that hand sewed onto the ribbon.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just two different ways.
So in that kit, $25.99, you get 6 balls of yarn, all in rainbow colours. So red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. And you get the full instructions, and you get the hook, and you get the bag. So again, brilliant gift for somebody. So if you're thinking Mother's Day, Easter, if you get your order in today, Helen will be able to get it sent to you by Mother's Day. But you do need to get it in today, really. Fingers crossed, we should be okay. But lovely gift, particularly because all these kits are aimed at beginners. And it's really nice to see, we've had a lot of people who have sewn and then have messaged us and said, oh, I used to knit years ago, I've always wanted to crochet, or I've got some crochet hooks somewhere, I'd like to have another go. So it's quite nice to have it all in one place. Have a look on the Sewing Street website and have a look on the Yarn Lane website as well. And we've got lots of different kits and equipments and tools, because there's other things you need, like stitch markers.
Yes,
very useful. Stitch markers.
These ones I use all the time, especially if I've got a project halfway and I'm sort of transporting it. Then it's a really good way just to pop it into that last loop that you've made, and it stops it from unravelling.
I know, unlike knitting, which mine all came unravelled last night.
If they fall off of your knitting needles, it's soul destroying, isn't it?
I swore at the telly last night when that happened to me.
Yeah, I think I would do as well, because then, especially as they fall off and you don't know.
They all fell off, and I was like.
Was it a lace pattern? Because that would be a nightmare.
I was turning a heel on a sock.
Oh my goodness!
Can't even explain.
So it's four-ply.
Yeah, really painful moment.
Yeah, so those stoppers are good for the ends of your needles.
Yes, I just don't know how
if you put them in your handbag, make sure you secure them.
I know, it just happened. I don't know what I was doing. I was turning round and it just, anyway. The West Yorkshire Spinners Colour Lab yarn, we have got it in loads of colours. It's absolutely gorgeous. If you look on the website, you can see it all. Look at this. So if you have got the bunting pattern, particularly if you've got any of the rainbow ones and you think, I want to make it in these super sweet candy colours, they've got lovely names as well. I think that one's Coral Crush. We've got Electric Blue. I should know, these are Bottle Green, Cerise Pink, perfectly plum, that's nice, isn't it? Silver grey and citrus yellow. So if you want some bright, oh, and also obviously the red, white and blue, really important. And it's a lovely white, it's Arctic white, so it's not ivory, it's a wool white, it's a pure wool white. Hard to explain any other way.
Yeah.
Look, I've got a little stash of them here. Have a look on the website for all of those and all of Helen's kits. It's everything that I've talked about today, including the little scissors that I showed you, the stalk scissors, and the crochet hooks. They're all on there. Go on to sewingstreet.com, click on watch live, look, you can see it all there now. Scroll down, and there it all is. So if you want to get the kits, please do check out today, and because Helen will be sending them out direct from her. Any later than that, I can't really guarantee you'll get them by Mother's Day, but it's all there. All the little items, everything that we talked about today is there. So if you've got an account with Yarn Lane, it doesn't matter because it's the same order number that you use on the Sewing Street website. So it's absolutely fine. So thank you so much for joining me on Yarn Lane today. Hope you've enjoyed it. When are you back with us, Helen? Thank you for joining us today.
Oh, it's been a pleasure. I don't think I'm back until May. So
Oh,
I'm having
ages.
ages. So
Ages.
yeah, I'll have to. I need to do some new designing. So
You do need to
new
think of something
designs.
fab.
Yeah, and I've got some new heart spun wool coming.
Have
so
you? What's
maybe double knit. So yeah, so I've got to get it dyed and get designing.
With the tencel and
yes,
everything.
Yes, exactly.
In a double knit, that's
so
nice.
that's exciting. Yeah, it arrived on a lorry last week.
Very
so,
exciting. I will
yeah.
actually look forward to that
So
then.
that'll keep me
seeing that.
busy for a few weeks.
Oh, good. Well, thank you so much today. It's been a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
Yarn Lane will be back with us next Monday. Sam Sabido is in the house. I'm in actually next week. With, sorry, Kat, what? The Spring Vibes crochet bag. That'll be nice. I haven't seen that. Oh yeah, and next Monday I will be back with Amber Makes Block of the Month Part 2. It's all about the embroidery. So learn embroidery next week with me. Tomorrow, John Scott is on air with Kerry from I've said Living in Loveliness. And remember, all this week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, is all about Jubilee Makes. Get yourself ahead for Jubilee. Thank you so much for joining me today. I've had great fun, and sorry for those of you who missed out on the bunting. If we get any more, we will let you know. Anyway, thank you for joining this week, and I will see you back here next Monday.